Before we start in here, I would like to introduce somebody who's always been behind the scenes, but has been videotaping these president tapes for several bienniums. So Stacy, come poke your head in here. There we go, one of our blessed volunteers. So thank you ahead of time.
You're welcome.
My husband Mel and I met in junior high school, and we've been married for 52 years. I look forward to having children so that he would have somebody else to pick on besides just me. But what did he do? He created two just like him. Brian and Stacy, two wonderful kids, but they have the same teasing, fun personality that he does. Brian has 3 children, Stacy also has 3, and Yuko, our AFS student who lived with us during her senior year, has 2 children who call us Grandma and Grandpa, so we claim 8 grandchildren in all. Born in Oakland, my family lived in San Clemente, Big Bear Lake, and Laverne before moving to Long Beach, where I attended school from 2nd grade through college. While attending California State University Long Beach, I did a summer session at the University of Uppsala in Sweden. I returned to the States and completed my senior year earning a BA in elementary education and a credential that allowed me to teach kindergarten through 8th grade. I began my teaching career with Long Beach Unified after moving to Northern California and raising those 2 crazy kids through preschool. Mel, not so subtly, said to me, "Well, aren't you ready to go back to work yet?" So we both took jobs in Dos Palace, located in the Central Valley. During my time in Dos Palace, I commuted weekly to Fresno, an hour and a half each way, earning my master's degree in administrative services from Fresno Pacific University. We didn't have any online classes in those days. This credential qualified me for an administrative assistant / counselor position at the junior high school in Los Banos Unified School District, which I had for 2 years. A most interesting position because one day I was counseling the student and the next day I could be disciplining the same student. Los Banos gave me a principalship at the elementary level for the next 11 years. My staff embraced new technology training and a new reading program which provided ongoing teacher support and training. In the 3 years, incoming 4th graders, 64% of whom were Hispanic and bilingual, could all read and write in English. The school was given a California Distinguished School Award for their accomplishments. Working in smaller districts enabled me to have a wide variety of opportunities. I taught 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 8th grades for 15 years, and childbirth education classes during the evenings for Merced Community College for 9.5 years. Classes at the college became so popular, or Mother Nature was working overtime, I don't know which, that I had 3 different night classes scheduled each week. My professional experiences also included Title I EIA / SIP resource teacher, an instructional media center coordinator where I started a new library from scratch and began 2 of the first computer labs in the San Joaquin Valley. For 15 years, I was a California State technology trainer, conducting technology training for educators in Fresno, Madera, Merced, and Stanislaus counties. As a member of the California Technology Assistant Project Steering Committee, which is better known as CTAP, I did a lot of in-service production. A member and presenter for CUE, Computer Using Educators, was also one of my jobs. I've been a grant writer and reader for the state of California and surrounding school districts. I also served on a committee that wrote the first technology plan for the state of California. Most interesting. 1 middle school rep, me at the elementary level, and all of the rest of the committee were from the higher institutes of learning. I sat on the Administrative Credential Program Advisory Board for Fresno Pacific University and Chapman University. And finally, I established the Dos Palace Cable TV Local Access Committee, serving as president for 2 years. We produced programs and determined what kinds of shows were going to go on the local access. I've also done community work for Habitat of Humanity, volunteered in the elementary classrooms to support that, teachers helping another teacher for the DKG California. The Police Assistance League Board, PAL, which works with at-risk students. The Los Banos Heart Association Board, where I served as president for 2 terms. AAUW, which is as their technology chairman. And AXA, the Association of California School Administrators, where I held offices at the local and regional levels and committees at the state level. In 1986, I received an invitation in the mail that looked like a wedding invitation. It said something about Delta Kappa Gamma, and I thought, what in the heck is that? So I took the invitation to school, and my nurse, who had lived and worked in Los Banos for most of her life, I said, Carol, do you know what this Delta Kappa Gamma is? She didn't even give me a chance to explain that it was an invitation to a meeting. She grabbed my arm. She said, oh, you have to join. The meeting is at my house, and you have to come. I said, okay, but what is Delta Kappa Gamma? Beating around the bush, she never did tell me what DKG was, just kept repeating that I needed to join. This was a woman who I had high respect and admiration for, a real professional. Not too many people said no to Carol, so I walked into that meeting blind as a bat, little knowing what was in store for me. But this was going to be one of the best decisions of my life. I was inducted into Iota Lambda, now recharted as Epsilon Psi in Area 17. I served as treasurer for 4 years, vice president and president for 3 years. After retiring, I transferred to Zeta Iota in Area 1 in Crescent City, serving as vice president and president. Committee positions in both chapters included membership, chapter rules, finance, programs, communication. I did the yearbook, ceremonies, and special events. While serving as president of Iota Lambda, Roberta Anderson, then Area 17 director, and Jackie Gustafson, past state president, said I needed to put in nomination papers to be the next Area 17 director. I was working at the time, but I went, okay. Heidi Chadwick was president during the 2003-2005 biennium and gave me the opportunity to become a Wahine, commonly called an area director. Of course, Letty Yamada's area directors couldn't be called anything else. Letty was warm, fun, and extremely nurturing, and still is to this day. We worked our tails off, but we had so much fun, learned how to hula, truly bonded, and to this day continue to support each other through life's ups and downs. These ladies will always be in my heart. Yes, being area director was the best job in DKG. It connected me not only to the state, but to other chapters. DKG was growing into a much larger entity in my mind. In 2005 through 7, I served on the communications committee and became chairman the following biennium. During 2009 to 11, I was chairman of the bylaws committee. And then between 2011 through 17, I was elected recording secretary, second vice president, and president of DKG California. While second vice president, Judy Kearns appointed me as area director coordinator. Now, that has to be the second best job in DKG. There was great debate over what my ADs were going to call themselves. With a name like Barr, imaginations and suggestions ran wild. My husband, of course, came up with the worst name of all, and I'm not going to mention it here. Tensions ran high as the ADs entered the room, slinging their bolos in hussy fashion to announce the name that follows them to this day, Barr's Sparkling Stars. I was greatly relieved, even though they kept telling me, "We got your back, Janis, we got your back," and they certainly did. What a great group to work with. It took them no time to go from a simple pseudo or working team to a high-performing team. We were in a time of change, and they certainly met the challenge. Many of them are still serving at the state level. After working for California and attending all but one of the Southwest Regional Conventions and all of the international conventions since 2004, Delta Kappa Gamma has even given me greater meaning. It certainly was so much more than just my chapter. The friendships and experiences gained were so rewarding. But the event that really brought back a different person, as Marilyn Stoltenberg said, was when Letty Yamada and I served as California state representatives to the charting of Japan in 2012. The depth of international DKG was unbelievable. I now appreciated the diversity of the society and how far it extended. Hawaii sponsored the chartering of Japan, and traveling with the Hawaiian sisters in Japan from Tokyo to Kochi was full of fun, laughter, interesting sights, sounds, and tastes. I don't think I have ever laughed so much in my life. Out of that experience came a new name for me, the Wasabi Queen, because I nearly burst my brain consuming a ball of wasabi, which I thought to be bean paste, and diluting it with water, which only intensified the heat that I was feeling from the top of my head to the bottom of my chest. Of course, you know that DKGs always support each other, and they did. Presents of wasabi products kept arriving for the next 3 years, always accompanied with a hearty laugh. Change for DKG California really took root during Sandy Rushing's biennium in 2011, when she envisioned that we would be planting the seeds of change, appropriate for a lady with a fantastic green thumb. During the following biennium, State President Judy Kearns and her leadership team planted more seeds, which sprouted to become strong, healthy plants. The leadership team began learning about the generational differences and listened to speakers like Sarah Sladak. It wasn't long before the executive committee realized that marketing our society was a key component to our future. Remember that mysterious invitation I got in '86? Well, times had not changed. DKG was still a big secret. As you know, change does not come easy and is usually a slow, very well-planned process. The hardest task as state president was selecting a leadership team. It takes weeks of personal contacts and planning so that the state has equal representation from all areas. Organizing a strong, supportive group of diverse volunteers that work as a team and are dedicated to seeing that the state advances in growth and productivity is essential for a successful biennium. When the 2015-17 biennium began, my leadership team hit the ground running, dreaming, designing, and bringing to life positive changes for DKG California. Tony Cook, DKG's second vice president, happened to meet a lady by the name of Joan Fodor. Upon learning that Joan, who is a consultant, could help us with marketing, the executive committee invited her to come to our very first executive committee meeting in May. After a 2-hour meeting, the officers were so impressed with Joan, and she was asked to be a trainer for the summer leadership planning session at Asilomar. Joan said after she looked at our state and international websites, she really didn't know who we were until she met us and heard our stories and our passion. Marketing the society and telling our stories to let people know who we are became a primary goal. Rather than working in isolation, the executive committee increased the communication between committees and supported collaboration in order to brainstorm new ideas that multiple committees could achieve together. One result of this collaboration and the work we had done with Jones started the development of effective tools to support chapters with recruiting and retaining members. DKG California paid for 2 videos, which were produced by a professional company starring our own DKG members and shared with areas and chapters. Each One Reach One video reached out to current members, offering strategies on how to approach a prospective member, invite her to a meeting, and provide an orientation that leads to initiation. This video continues to help chapters develop a plan to maintain a healthy membership and stay strong. Be a Member was produced for recruiting new members. It became available on the website and made it easy to tell the story of DKG to a prospective member. Members could use any iPhone to go straight to the DKG website to show the Be a Member video explaining how DKG has influenced the careers and lives of current members and provides benefits and opportunities for everybody. Now, chapters had 4 powerful tools to use. The member recruitment program developed by International, Each One Reach One to help current members tell their story, Be a Member for recruiting prospective members, and the updated PowerPoint orientation presentation, Pride in the Big Picture from International. The membership committee committed to visiting every area, bringing chapter program ideas and strategies to support the 3 R's of membership: recruit, retain, reinstate, and they were powerful ideas. They published the symptoms of an ailing chapter and treatments for the problems. With the help of the area directors, statistics were compiled so no chapter in jeopardy of dissolving would be overlooked, but would be received with supporting membership people immediately. As I went through my files, the information that I'd gotten from International, and the statistics compiled by the membership committee, it became apparent that it had been a very, very long time since a new chapter had been chartered in California. I believe from the time that I started going to conventions, and each year we would dissolve chapters, it was 19 chapters that had been dissolved. And it had been 22 years since a new chapter was started. People were down. Some older chapters were growing smaller and smaller and were not recruiting. They had lost contact with the schools, and the members had retired. Support from the community and the area directors were not working everywhere. I could see frustration in the air. A spark of enthusiasm needed to be injected into the state. Knowing that Elk Grove School District could easily support 3 chapters because of its size, I approached Daphne Cagle, who lived in the district and was a state membership committee member. She agreed to team up with me. We are going to charter a new chapter in Elk Grove before the end of the year, I told her, and we high-fived the event. There were no files to tell us what to do. No problem. We'll just document the procedures as we go. This was definitely not my normal leadership style, but a model needed to be developed, and the members needed to see positive progress towards growth rather than disillusion year after year after year. In mid-January, an organizational committee composed of 11 volunteer members had their first meeting. It takes just 1 or 2 people, that's all, with enthusiasm to see that a project like this comes to fruition. We had 3 active DKG members wanting to join the new chapter. 2 orientation meetings were held, and plans were then set for the chartering. On May 16, 2017, DKG chartered Iota Omega Look at those happy faces, the excitement, energy, and obvious DKG spirit that was already coming from the new chapter members re-energized everyone in the crowd. The new Iota Omega members asked me, "Okay, Janis, what do we do now?" And I answered, "That's the beauty of all this. You get to create your own culture." 3 transfer members and 1 reinstated member gives a foundation that is needed, and the new members representing the generational differences opens the door to new thinking, planning, and programs that meet the needs of their members. I am most interested in watching their progress. The chapter could potentially become a model for others. We were definitely on a high. All leadership team members were asked to look for areas and school districts in the state that could support new chapters. Los Angeles is now being targeted for a new charter as other suggestions continue to be submitted. I am convinced and confident that as long as the leadership team continues to support chartering, this is going to re-energize the state. But I have warned that you don't charter a new chapter and then walk away. They need to be nurtured by surrounding chapters, given accolades and publicity for the programs and projects that they create, and especially for thinking outside the box. I don't feel that dissolution of a chapter is as drastic an event if members of that chapter transfer or merge to a healthy chapter. This is the responsibility of the membership committee and their liaisons to oversee. Since the California Connection is going out to more members electronically, printing costs were reduced. This resulted in the annual publishing fee for members to be reduced from $3 to $2. A huge task was undertaken by Tony Schlobaum, the area directors and chapter presidents, updating the information for every state member. Now it will be so easy for chapters to keep a current record and contact list for their members, resulting in larger numbers of the California Connection and highlights being sent electronically. The DKG California website continued to assist members with current and updated information about DKG California. A section for non-members was developed and plans were made to update the format. Technology workshops were offered each year, 2016 in the South and 2017 in the North. The Early Career Educators Committee changed the committee name to Support Team for Emerging Professionals, better known now as STEP. The committee developed a number of powerful tools and resources that were put on the website for emerging professionals. I was so proud of what they did. The successful 2017 legislative study session gave members a chance to connect with their assembly members and senators. 2 issues occurred during the biennium. One chapter was looking to enhance their electronic publications and found some wonderful rose wallpaper on the internet. After putting that wallpaper on the web, a letter soon arrived requesting a large sum of money for the use of the wallpaper, which was copyrighted. Looking at the advertisement, which I did, I saw the free wallpaper in very large letters at the top, but one had to enlarge the screen as much as possible, and then I had to use a magnifying glass to realize that in such fine print that was barely seen, let alone legible, it did say this wallpaper is copyrighted. The scammers could not only go after the chapter, but they could go after the state and international. Thus, there was a quick call to international and an attorney. A letter from an attorney in California put the matter to rest. The second issue was political. At the time, political tensions were extremely high in our country. Some members were voicing their opinions on candidates and political parties. After conferring with International, a statement was drafted, and my president's message in the California Connection reminded everyone that members were certainly free to voice their opinions as friends, preferably outside of the meetings, but all members in a chapter do not have the same political views, and chapters need to be sensitive to that situation. Newsletters, programs, etc. should not be promoting one political viewpoint over another. DKG promotes the personal and professional growth of women. If we support legislation, it is for the improvements in the classroom or for women in education. DKG is political, but not partisan. The 2016 convention was held at the DoubleTree by Hilton in Fresno, California. The theme, Treasure Our Past, Design Our Future. Kathy Doherty was the international representative, and when we had the contest to develop a pin, we had 2 winners that year. So both winners and their pin designs were put into the program. 6 professional development sessions were offered and 14 interest sessions. That was much bigger than the year before. DKG California also celebrated its 80th birthday that year. In 2017, the convention was held at the LAX Marriott in Los Angeles with a theme of Experience, Connect, Empower. Dr. Jency Souders, International Past President, was our international representative. At that convention, 9 professional development sessions were offered and 15 interest sessions. Both conferences were so well organized, had meaningful, timely speakers, plus wonderful music and entertainment. Each convention offered more professional development to working members and university women. For 2 years, we invited nearby university students to join us for the professional development sessions to help them gain knowledge, college credit, and learn what DKG was all about. They were able to register for free by using their student IDs. DKG continued to recognize the artistic talents of our members through the Convention Gallery, DKG California Highlights, and the California State Office in Sacramento. The number of artists showcasing their work increased each year. At the 2017 convention, 71 pieces of artwork were entered. Pieces loaned to the office for a period of 2 years also increased. We do have some very talented people in DKG. In 2016, registration for convention was done electronically, which made everybody so happy. And in 2017, participants not only registered electronically, but they had the option of using a credit card for payment. This efficient way of doing business has now been extended to other DKG events. These are just some of the changes and accomplishments of the DK leadership team during 2015-17. These dedicated volunteers devoted many hours of their talents and ideas to support both the chapters and the state organization. They truly worked as a collaborative team to dream, design, and develop many positive changes, which continue to move DKG California forward. My sincere appreciation goes to the leadership team and the chapter presidents who served during 2015-16 and 2016-17. Your support, creative thinking, flexibility, and effective leadership skills were the key to such a successful biennium. Thank you to all the California members for allowing me to be your 2015-2017 state president. It has truly been an honor and a privilege. Please continue to tell your stories about DKG.